The Real Nature of Man, Part 2. Now, human language is the attempt to express the truth that is within. I am fully persuaded that a baby whose language consists of unintelligible sounds is attempted to express the highest philosophy. Only the baby has not the organs to express it nor the means. The difference between the language of the highest philosophers and the utterances of babies is one of degree and not of kind. What you call the most correct, systematic, mathematical language of the present time, and the hazy, mystical, mythological languages of the ancients differ only in degree. All of them have a grand idea behind which is, as it were, struggling to express itself, and often behind these ancient mythologies are nuggets of truth, and often, I am sorry to say, behind the fine polished phrases of the moderns is arrant trash. So we need not throw a thing overboard because it is clothed in mythology, because it does not fit in with the notions of Mr. So and Mrs. So and so of modern times. If people should laugh at religion because most religions declare that men must believe in mythologies taught by such and such a prophet, they ought to laugh more at these moderns. In modern times, if a man quotes a Moses or a Buddha or a Christ, he is laughed at. But let him give the name of a Huxley, a Tyndall, or a Darwin, and it is swallowed without salt. Huxley has said it. That is enough for many. We are free from superstitions indeed. That was a religious superstition, and this is a scientific superstition. Only in and through that superstition came life giving ideas of spirituality. In and through this modern superstition came lust and greed. That superstition was worship of God, and this superstition is worship of filthy lucre of fame and power. That is the difference. To return to mythology, behind all these stories, we find one idea standing supreme, that man is a degeneration of what he was. Coming to the present times, modern research seems to repudiate this position absolutely. Evolutionists seem to contradict entirely this assertion. According to them, man is the evolution of the mollusks, and therefore, what mythology states cannot be true. There is in India, however, a mythology which is able to reconcile both these positions. The Indian mythology has a theory of cycles that all progression is in the form of waves. Every wave is attended by a fall, and that by a rise the next moment, that by a fall in the next, and again another rise. The motion is in cycles. Certainly, it is true, even on the grounds of modern research, that man cannot be simply an evolution. Every evolution presupposes an involution. The modern scientific man will tell you that you can only get the amount of energy out of a machine which you have previously put into it. Something cannot be produced out of nothing. If a man is an evolution of the mollusk, then the perfect man, the Buddha man, the Christ man was involved in the mollusk. If it is not so, whence come these gigantic personalities? Something cannot come out of nothing. Thus, we are in a position of reconciling the scriptures with modern light. That energy which manifests itself slowly through various stages until it becomes the perfect man cannot come out of nothing. It existed somewhere, and if the mollusk saw the protoplasm is the first point to which you can trace it, that protoplasm somehow or the other must have contained the energy. There is a great discussion going on as to whether the aggregate of materials we call the body is the cause of manifestation of the force we call the soul, thought, etc., or whether it is the thought that manifests this body. The religions of the world, of course, hold that the force called thought manifests the body and not the reverse. There are schools of modern thought which hold that what we call thought is simply the outcome of the adjustments of the parts of the machine which we call body. Taking the second position, that the soul or the mass of thought, or however you may call it, is the outcome of this machine, the outcome of the chemical and the physical combinations of matter making up the body and brain, leaves the question unanswered. What makes the body? What force combines the molecules in the body form? What force is there which takes up material from the mass of matter around and forms my body one way, another body another way, and so on? What makes these infinite distinctions? To say that the force called soul is the outcome of the combinations of the molecules of the body is putting the cart before the horse. How did the combinations come? Where was the force to make them? If you say that some other force was the cause of these combinations, the soul was the outcome of that matter, and that soul which combined a certain mass of matter was itself the result of the combinations, it is no answer. That theory ought to be taken, which explains most of the facts, if not all, and that without contradicting other existing theories. It is more logical to say that the force which takes up the matter and forms the body is the same which manifests through the body. To say, therefore, that the thought forces manifested by the body are the outcome of the arrangement of molecules and have no independent existence has no meaning. Neither can force evolve out of matter. Rather, it is possible to demonstrate that what we call matter does not exist at all. It is only a certain state of force. Solidity, hardness, or any other state of matter can be proved to be result of motion. In case of vortex, motion imparted to fluids gives them the force of solids. A mass of air in vortex motion, as in a tornado, becomes solid like and by impact breaks and cuts through solids. A thread of a spider's web, if it could be moved at almost infinite velocity, could be as strong as an iron chain and would cut through an oak tree. Looking at it in this way, it would be easier to prove that what we call matter does not exist, but the other way cannot be proved.